Hi, good morning everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hopefully you can hear me above the wind here. Second time in a week, so I must be a lucky boy being let out again. Having fished Chesil earlier in the week, and today fishing AT. We're fishing at a mark just north of Clevedon, often referred to as Lady Bay. It's a series of rock ledges that extend out north of the Lady Bay inlet, just north side of Clevedon. And I've walked about 800 metres up the coast path, and I've just come down to a mark that I've fished before, but I haven't been here for almost a year. So it's quite a blustery day. We've got a relatively stiff to strong westerly-ish wind that's probably blowing 15 to 20. It's meant to be easing off, but that comes this afternoon. It's an incredibly small tide. I think low water was about an hour ago, and that was almost 5 metres on the Clevedon scale, and high water is about 2:15, and that's only 9.5 metres. So there's only 4.5 metres of elevation. That's probably quite a lot for some people, but for here it's tiny. When you consider we might sometimes be faced with 11 metres of tidal range, then today is a baby tide. So this, you can see the sort of mark. There's obviously rocks in front of me here, but normally on a normal sort of tide, you know, something maybe 10 metres, or 10.5 metres, you'd have an expanse of sand and mud in front of you. So we're not going to see the sand, and obviously I'm fishing the tide up, and you can see there's a massive tree up there. That's not gonna, the water isn't going to get up to there today. I think we'll probably have to just move once up, and we'll be relatively okay out of the way of the incoming tide. So going to fish the tide up to high, see how we go, and then I'm going to fish down, fish the ebb a little bit, and we'll see what happens. Baits today, I've got lug, ragworm, squid and bluey, all provided by Real Fun Fishing at Portishead. I dropped into there this morning. It's a great tackle shop. If you've never been in there, you pass in. Crikey, they've got some gear in there. And they're knowledgeable guys behind the counter. So thanks guys for the good bait. What else can I say? Oh, rigs are, I've got pulley pennel. Oh, I've got a bite there on the left hand rod. Oh, that's, no, it's a bit of weed on the line actually. So, oh, that's a bugger. Oh well. So rigs, I've got a 2.0 pulley pennel on the left hand rod with rag and squid, and on the right hand rod I'm fishing a 3.0, slightly bigger pulley pennel with squid and bluey. Just one thing for the mark, if you come here, I'm wearing studded boots. It is very weedy, as you can see. You do clamber around a lot, so I wouldn't say it's a mark for the infirm or people who are not sure of their footing. But please be careful when you come here. Make sure you wear the suitable footwear, because as I say, it's quite slippery here, and the studded boots are great. So please be careful when you're on the rocks. And primarily I'm probably not going to fish too much into darkness, if at all, because of that reason, really being here on my own possibly, and having to walk down as the tide goes out. Anyway, I'll come back to you in a minute. Gulls here are interested in something. I think it's my bait that I've thrown in the water. Fabulous how they can hold in that wind. That's really is a strong wind blowing in there. Oh, he's off.
He's coming back. Oh, struggling against that wind. Come on. Oh. Not sure what sort of gull that is, but great stuff.
So because I use multipliers to avoid the finger burn on the knots going through, or the leader not passing through, I've got these little rubber strips. So this is a shop bought one from Veals mail order. You just buy them, it's about 4 or 5 inches long, and you I've just taped it to my reel seat, and then you clamp it over there and hold it. And here's one I've made with from an old inner tube from a bicycle. Wasn't prepared to pay 3 or 4 quid for one, so I just bring a spare bit of bicycle tube with me, and I cut that down. I mean, these have been on for ages, mind you, so probably the best part of 6 months, 8 months now, and that obviously helps you grip the spool when it's wet, and enables a relatively smooth cast, and you keep your thumbs and your fingers intact from cuts, because there's nothing worse than having a leader knot ripped through the end of your finger, if you've ever had it, if you use a multiplier.
One thing I'd say about the Bristol Channel marks, especially here at Lady Bay, is that even though there's lots of elevated platforms to fish from at high water, if you plan to fish to tide out, you just have to be careful to try to do a recce at low water, really, just to see what's in front of you, because there are some places, I don't know whether the camera picks it out, is that you just can't get down in front of you, and you're fishing from a very high ledge, and you've got a massive amount of rocks and boulders in front of you. So I'd always recommend, when you're fishing any of these Bristol Channel marks, is that you try to do a recce at low water, just to see what you've got in front of you, and also that you can I mean, it's not so much coming in, it's more going out, really, about what you're faced with when the tide drops away. There are several places, I mean, there's 300-400 meters of rock ledges here at Lady Bay, but a significant portion of it at low water you can't actually get down to it, because unless you're a climber or you bring a ladder. So there are certain places that you can fish relatively comfortably at low water and you can get back, and others you can't. Just try to bear that in mind if you're coming here as a first timer. So if you've fished this mark before, you'll know it can be pretty bitter down here. The sun is almost over the top of the hill there. I got out of the car, it was like 3 or 4 degrees this morning, so quite a change in the weather. Gone a lot colder, meant to be getting up to about 10 degrees, but I really need that sun to come out and warm me up a little bit, because certainly the fishing isn't at the moment. The initial problem with weed, that's sort of eased now, so I had maybe 4 casts, 2 on each rod, and getting quite a bit of weed coming in, but the last couple of retrieves to change the baits have been no weed, they've been weed free. So only that one, what I thought was a bite, but other than that, the baits are coming in untouched, so not even any crabs. The gulls have been very persistent. I shouldn't feed them squid heads, that's the thing. Anyway, you can see, well, we've got the Severn Bridge, the new Severn Bridge up there to the north of us, and then we got Mega, Newport, and then down towards Cardiff there, and in the very distance we've got Steepholm, and then Flatholm just a little bit around the corner. Probably not going to come out in the video because the magnification is pretty poor on the GoPro, but it's yeah, it's a bracing day, I'll say that. So it's about 2.5 hours after low water now, and I'm just about to be washed off my mark that I'm fishing at, lower down. So I just moved all my gear up, and I'm going to fish on the
the next ledge up behind me. Still very quiet. That wind is still, I think it's eased a little bit, not so much in your face, but again it's challenging the casting and casting into a headwind. So but higher up you've got a bigger angle when you're winding in, so you should be able to get up over the rocks easier, even if you've got a little less distance on your cast. I was saying earlier on about the studded boots I wear. These are Snowbee Rockhopper boots, basically Wellingtons, and you can see they've got metal studs in them. Godsend for me. I'm 6'3". I'm a bit like Bambi on ice at times, so they do a very good job of keeping me upright when I'm on the weedy rocks and stuff. I know they're expensive, they're probably in excess of 100 quid, but I haven't fallen over on rocks not so long ago, and hurt my wrist and stuff like that. I know, price at the end of the day is I suppose not irrelevant, but it's not as important as your safety. So, great investment, totally recommend them. Very comfortable and very warm. And this sort of mark, I mean, I don't really use the seat boxes stuff. I always tend to use a rucksack, so I use a VAS padded rucksack basically to carry all my gear in, and I find that pretty easy, comfortable for me, for certainly down at Chesil when you're lumping a lot of stuff. So but you could easily use a box here. It's just a bit the ground's pretty irregular. You just got to find somewhere comfortable to sit. When I did my sort of what's in my tackle bag section on my last video, I completely forgot to say I also bring rig line for the snoods, and generally for lighter strengths I use Amnesia 40, 30, 50 pound line, and then I use a Trabuco 70 and a 60 pound line for them because it has a thinner diameter, I find. So I use that Trabuco for the heavier snoods, and I use the Amnesia for the lighter snoods. And obviously the beauty of this stuff is that if you get a kink or a twist, you can stretch it out and basically it loses its memory, and you can have a nice straight snood again. And the only other thing I noticed, I forgot as well, I bring a sharpening stone for hooks, so I just had a blunt hook bringing in, got a little snag on a rock in front of me, so I bring a little sharpening stone as well to help me out. And also in the bag I also have a spool of spare 20 pound line, just about a 600 meter spool, just in case I have a bird's nest disaster on a couple of reels, so I bring that along as well. Well, if anybody's lost a tree, you can come and get it here. This very well weathered specimen must be at least 50 feet long. You can see that it's probably a good 20 inches in diameter, and I'm sure when I fished Clevedon last year, that tree was stuck in a little bay just round the corner there, just about 50 yards up the coast. So slowly moving its way out to sea. Probably 1,000 years might get to America. There we are, the power of the ocean. And as you can tell, if I'm doing little features on what's washed up on the shore, the fishing is pretty hopeless at the moment. I think I'm getting little taps on the left hand rod, either that or there's a bit of weed trapped on it. So I'm just going to bring this one in. Oh, completely stuck. Ah. Oh.
I've either picked up a bit of weed there. I can't believe that this is a fish, but I'm sure I would have seen it, but oh, something there actually. Ah, friendly neighbourhood conger eel. Wow, you gorgeous little thing, you. Saved a blank. Let's get him in a pool and have a look at him. Ah, aren't they lovely with that little black furl on their fins? Really, really pretty. Well, I thought there was a little bite there, so there we go. And here he is, look. Little conger eel. All probably 6 ounces of him. Amazing how they actually find anything in the Bristol Channel, but there's certainly thousands of them around. Anyway, I'll put him back in. Oh yes. Oh yes. Go on, baby. Oh, this is. Oh no, my other line. Bugger. That's gone incredibly slack. Oh. Oh, that just might be a slackline bite. Nowhere near that line. Oh yes, come on. Oh, a big conger. Well, bigger conger. I'm not quite sure what happened with my GoPro there, but it turned itself off as I was bringing this conger in. Not sure what footage I got, but I had a cracking bite. It's a little bit bigger than the last one, probably 2 or 3 pounds, and it's 2 fish in an hour almost. That's great. So I'll get him unhooked and we'll put him back. Well, just having said that, I had a slack line on that bite. It was a bite. I was bringing that conger in. Oh. I lost him. Well, I got him unhooked. He's a bit angry, as you can see. Let's bed him back in. Very lovely. There you go, mate. Come back when you're 10 pounds. And as I said, the fishing last half hour has just really turned on. I'll just put that one back in the rest. Had that small conger about 20 past 12, and then I had the bigger one at 10 to 1, and at the same time I had a slackline bite on the other rod, which I lost on the way in. So yeah, so it's about an hour and a bit to high water now. I may have to move again, unfortunately, which might make casting. I don't really want to go right to the top, but we'll see. I'll let that bite develop to see if there's anything there. Got a big slackline bite here. I lost it again. Can't believe it. Two in successive casts. That's really annoying. Man. Both on holes. I'm not sure what this one was. Double bluey this was. So third cast in a row on the grey rod that I've had a slackline bite. I dropped the first two. Couldn't really see what was wrong with the trace. Obviously two different traces because they were on successive casts, and I'm sort of double patting as it were. And I was just getting some bait out of my freezer bag and turned around and this one was slack again. So a little bit disappointed to miss those two fish, but let's see what we got here. Can't remember what I put on here. I think it's a squid. One of those small hole squids. A bit of a dead weight at the moment, so it's probably another conger. Big fat cod would be nice, but I finished the last of my Chesil cod last night. Lovely cod curry, which me and the wife had. She thoroughly enjoyed that. So you can see the leader there coming out. I got yellow line on this one. Play him gently. And that's another conger. Bit smaller than the second one. A bit whiter actually as well. He's quite pale, this one. Anyway, let's get him unhooked and put back in. Off you go, mate. And he's gone. Actually, he stayed there. Oh. Feels like another conger. Fair play, they put a good scrap. This Daiwa tournament rod is quite a good action, not very stiff. So it does bend a bit, whereas the Saltist is quite a stiff rod in comparison. Yeah, another snake. All about the same sort of size. Let's get him unhooked and put back in. Well, this one's quite an angry one. Put him back in. Off he goes. I was beginning to think things were drying up a little bit, but yeah, almost in an hour and a half now I've had 4 congers, and I've lost another 2 fish as well with good slackline bites. today with the worm and squid pulley. It's been probably about an hour or 20 minutes since I had the last fish, so fishing just sort of switched on very quickly and switched off very quickly as well. So it's good to see that there's still something around. Now, so on the ebb, it's pulling reasonably strong right to left. I think I'll let that one develop a bit more. A big slackline bite there. Feels like another conger. Weather conditions have eased off a lot now. It's a beautiful end to the day. That wind has dropped off and the sun is out. Conger number 5 for the day. They just keep coming. Well, here they are. They're not the biggest congers in the world. Probably 1 to 2 pound typically, these things, but they give a good scrap and they give a good bite, and when there's nothing else around they certainly save the day in terms of the blank, and actually provide some pretty good sport. So thank you, Mr. Conger. Let's put him back in. Congered out. Well, the last casts are out, where tide is ebbing and the water is dropping quite quickly now, and pretty much been fishing since 20 past 8. It's now 25 to 5 in the afternoon, so I'm not going to lug all my stuff back down and carry on fishing, even though I've got bait, primarily because it's dark and I don't really want to be on this mark, maybe on my own in the dark. Great session eventually. Had a very busy 2 hours, last 2 hours of the flood. Had 4 congers and missed 2 others, and then I had another conger later on in the afternoon. So 5 conger eels okay. They're not big, you know, it's up to about £3, but they put a good account of themselves, and that's all I can ask for really. I've had a nice day, thoroughly enjoyable day here at the Ledges at Clevedon. So thanks for watching. Really appreciate everyone who watches the channel, and so thank you if you like and subscribe. That's great, thank you very much, appreciate that. Not going to be able to fish next week, got some family stuff to do, so maybe a couple of weeks, and hopefully if the weather's kind we can be out again. So thanks everyone, hope you enjoyed the video, and see you all again soon, and tight lines. Thanks very much, bye now.